Thanks very much for staying with us. Let's get you a breaking update of the NTAGI's recommendation that has been made over booster shots, where this is coming across as those who are going abroad can take those precaution doses as it is being endorsed before the 9-month gap. This is the National Technical Advisory Group on Immunization that has now recommended allowing the administration of precautionary dose of the COVID vaccine before 9 months for those who are applying abroad. And this is what is being said, that this recommendation has not made for all citizens. So the gap of 9 months between the second dose and the precaution dose will continue for those who are in India.
Meanwhile, at present, the Union Health Ministry has set a 9-month gap for the second dose of the administration of precautionary dose, and India began administering this precautionary dose of vaccines to healthcare and frontline workers and 60-plus population from January 10th onwards. Let me also now go across to Sharon. Karishma joining us over the phone line. Yes, Karishma, so after much deliberation, there was talks about possibly the gap being reduced, but this has now been opened up for only those who will be traveling abroad.
Well, it's absolutely the decision being made only for those who are traveling abroad will get the precaution dose as per the requirement of the destination country. Remember, the Health Ministry had said that the eligible requirement for precaution dose is a 9-month gap between the final vaccination and to the precaution dose. But for those traveling abroad for various reasons, whether for studies or for their work or job, will be allowed to take the precaution dose earlier so that there is no problem in them traveling abroad. And that is why the 9-month gap will only be reduced for those who have to travel abroad for various reasons, and the Health Ministry taking that into consideration and tweaking the rule for those who need to go abroad for work or for studies.
Right. All right, Karishma, stay on with us because there's another development that has happened over the COVID crisis, where India has now hit back at the WHO reports claiming that COVID has killed as many as 47.4 lakh people in India alone in the year 2020 and 2021, either directly due to the infection or through its indirect impact. Meanwhile, the Indian government has rejected this report, strongly objecting to the use of certain mathematical models for projecting excess mortality estimates, contending that the country has an extremely robust system of births and deaths registration. The Union Health Ministry, in its rebuttal, called the WHO system of data collection as statistically unsound and scientifically questionable.
Meanwhile, in a report released on Thursday, WHO has said that between January 2020 and December 2021, there were about 4.7 million excess COVID deaths reported in India. The maximum number, that's 10 times the official figures and almost a third of the COVID deaths globally. The global figure, according to this report, was 15 million, more than double the official figure of 6 million. So we'll first play out some reactions coming in and later on go to Karishma.
So I have objections to the data, and I'll give 3 broad reasons for that. One is that India has a very robust system of births and deaths registration, which has been going on for decades. The second important issue is that the data the WHO has used is more on hearsay evidence or what has been there in the media or from unconfirmed sources. The third important issue is that India has been very liberal in offering compensation to people who have died from COVID, and that has been there in a very open manner.
We understand that this report has covered what they label as excess mortality in the years spanning COVID-19 pandemic. India has been clearly telling WHO with all humility and through diplomatic channels, with data, with rational reasoning, that we do not agree with the methodology that has been followed for us.
All right, going back to Karishma on this, because Karishma, strong rebuttal coming there from India's side and also questioning the estimate model that has been put forth by the WHO.
Well, yes, the government had also said, it pointed out the inconsistencies in the criteria being used by WHO to classify nations into Tier 1 and Tier 2 categories, and the very basis of placing India into the second category. India had raised the fact that given the accuracy of the mortality data collected through an effective and robust system, India doesn't deserve to be placed in the Tier 2 countries. So India clearly not accepting what the WHO has released in its report.
Absolutely, and once again reiterating their stand that they humbly have been in negotiations as far as diplomatic channels are concerned with the WHO, as well as the claims being made about the COVID death figures being higher as untrue. We'll keep a close watch on that. Thank you, Karishma, for that. Moving on to some more updates coming in.